Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see, I've got a model with me. This is my boyfriend and he kindly agreed to let me paint his face. Obviously we can't have anyone round still, so the only person I can paint is him. And for Valentine's Day, he let me put him in drag. So I've started off by covering his eyebrows here, you can see. I'm actually using the purple Elmer's glue stick. Now, a lot of people in the UK think that the glue stick method works with every single glue stick, and I promise you it does not. You really, really need this purple one. If you use a Pritt stick, it's going to be chunky, it's going to be thick, and it's not going to work. I had to do several layers with this for Casper because he does have sort of thick brows and they're not used to being laid down like mine. I'm going in here with a very full coverage, thick white concealer, as well as some Kevin Aquan concealer just to really, really pack the coverage on there. With foundation, it's always going to be the same story with drag. Put on as much as you possibly can. A huge thick mask. This is Kevin Aquan Central Skin Enhancer as well. Just layer it up. I wish I had gone in with a little bit more moisturiser because it did feel a bit dry and cakey. I'm mapping out the shape of the brow here with the brow highlight. I just think it's so much easier to find your shape first with this, where you can edit it and change it in the creams before just sort of, you know, a lot of people like to just whack the brow straight on. And I just find you almost always make a mistake if you do it after this stage. So pop in the little brow highlight first, and then you can go in with your cream stage on a brow. I'm using an ashy colour here because the wig that you saw in the beginning is a sort of an ashy blonde. I'm just really filling in the shape completely, and then I'll work on it on the powder layer later. But this is just to sort of get my almost a rough draft. Blending in now the brow highlight into the lid, just to try and smooth everything out, but I do like to keep that white highlight underneath the brow. I've given Casper a really strong nose contour. I find nose contouring on myself really, really challenging in drag. But Casper's got a really straight nose, so it's much, much easier for me to do. You just have to keep the inner line very, very harsh, but then you blend out the outside line into the nose. Again, I'm doing all my shaping in creams first with the cooler tones, and then I'll warm it up on my powders. So you're just really carving out completely new cheekbones, completely new jawline. Was again quite hard to blend out with his skin being a little drier, but my fault. Blending it all in together. You don't have to worry about being too accurate with this. You're going to do a lot more blending later as well. So with drag, you can be a little bit more cat-candid, I suppose, because there's a lot of makeup and a lot of layers that are going to go on. So if you haven't got it perfect in this layer, I'm sure it will come back in the next. We're cooking his face now. This takes down a lot of the colour, the intensity in the creams. You can see it sort of, you know, it's not as intense now that I've packed all this powder on. Do like to brush away the excess before going in with, well, I like to use a warmer shade. So this is actually a bronzer to bring out some of these shades. The cooler contour shade from the creams will act to shape the face, and then the bronzer warms it up to make it look a little bit more, not realistic, but a little bit more sort of lifelike. Going under the lip as well to give it a little bit of a pouty look. I go in so many times during this application with blush. This first one is just like, again, to bring more warmth back, a little bit of colour. It's like a more nudie shade. And this is the first in many sort of times I bake the skin to bring the highlights forward. It sort of brightens those areas. I think it's quite nice to pop in a few little sort of like brow-like hairs on the inner corner of the brows. And then I just fill in pretty much flat with a deeper shade on the outside of the brow. Just gives a little bit more dimension. More blush, this time a little bit more pinky peachy. And I'm blending in with the powder puff there just so it's not got any harsh lines. Now, a friend of mine wanted me to record a green makeup look, but I just don't think I'd look very good in it, so I thought I'd incorporate it into drag. Casper has fabulous big eyes, so I really, really carved out his socket from the nose contour line and went all the way underneath the eye, winging it out just slightly. I'm packing on the shadow and then just blending out that top line with a clean brush. Really, really trying to keep the product in the same place though, because this is, you know, it's a specific shape that I'm creating. Doing the outer V, a much, much darker green. You can see maybe better on this side, just really, really packing it on. I don't want to brush it out and blend it too far across the eye, just to I want to keep the intensity in the corner there. Like with some of my other colourful looks, I take a nice blending shade. This is a bright lime green from Sugar Pill, and I think it just helps sort of, you know, blend out into the rest of the skin and makes it pop a little bit. Cut the crease too with one of the Huda Beauty matte and metals. I really wanted to put some glitter on here, but I just didn't really have any glitter that I particularly liked. So I just ended up blending this shade into the main lid and just keeping it basically like a flat skin tone shade, using a bit of that sort of lime green again. This eyeliner actually took me a little while because I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger with it, but with Casper's sort of like bigger eyes, I could just get away with more. Obviously, I'm used to having like my hooded eyes, so I can never do this, but it's quite fun with drag for him that I can just make a huge shape. Put a little bit of a glittery eyeshadow in the inner corner just for a little bit of pop. And then some more baking, this time with a white powder, again to really, really bring stuff forward. Highlights are so important, and contrast in drag, so it is really important to like bring forward those parts when you're reshaping the face. Just using the powder puff to sort of like blend in a few little bits. I went in with Huda Beauty liquid lips here. I went for sort of a darker shade around the outside and then a brighter orange in the middle. Again, all about dimension, light and dark. This really, really tickled Casper. So he struggled a bit when I was applying it, but I really, really enjoyed the shape in the end. I've gone in with a lash collab from Blue Hydrangea and Be Perfect Cosmetics. You kind of have to situate them a little bit above the eye and push them upwards so that they don't sort of drag the eye down. I think they're a really great lash. They just wouldn't work on me. They're so, so big. Went in with a little bit more blush, and then you'll see me popping on the wig, and it's the finished look, basically. You can see how the bright pink colour is just totally perfect. I'm so grateful that he was willing to do this look with me, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'll see you again soon, guys. Bye.